DJ Lou Chapman Screw.
Whatever happened to the '80s porn star named Nina Deponca? Nina Deponca, who was doing her thing during the '80s and the '90s, uh, during the silver I think they called it the silver age of porn, during the 1980s because it was still becoming it was still on the rise during the '80s. And with acts like Vanessa Del Rio and John Holmes and whatnot. But there was when it came to black porn or non-white porn, it was a few that stood out, like Adonis or Ebony Eyes and whoever, Vanessa Del Rio. But a few of them actually stood out and made a name for themselves. And Nina Deponca was one of them. Nina Deponca, uh, she uh, she uh, she had those gosh, she just had those she had those girl next door looks, the finest girl in school type of look, and she her presentation was impeccable. I like Nina Deponca uh, because it was just her beauty. Like back then, beauty they focused more on beauty than they did actual physical features. If you had a big butt, a big breast, that was a plus. But they mainly, but like back in the '80s, they primarily focused on the pretty faces. If you had a pretty face, if you were if you was pretty easy on the eyes, that's what they primarily focused on. If you had other attributes, that was a plus, but it was all about the pretty faces. And like Nina DePonca had a pretty face, and she had pretty looks, and she just captured you and just drew you in when you saw her on tape. But of course, she retired during the early to mid '90s. And what is she doing now? I don't know. I remember coming across a picture of her on MySpace when MySpace was still doing their thing, and my, like and that was about it. She was just enjoying herself, living a social life. But what else has she been doing? What else has she been up to? Obviously she's not no longer doing porn. So is she on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram? I would love to know whatever happened to the porn star Nina DePonca.